Hello, let me start by telling you what you're watching. This is footage from the Need for Speed 2016 PC release's Ventura Bay map. Using the cinematic tools by HattyWatty, I've tried as best I can to create a midday lighting environment from what is otherwise a predominantly nighttime map, with some areas of slightly higher dawn or duskish lighting levels. I'm demonstrating two areas here today, the Crescent Mountain section you're seeing now, which is normally slightly lighter than pitch black with the sun on the horizon in the distance, and following on from that, the downtown area in which the game garage is located. The first question that probably springs to mind is why? Well, short answer is because I can, I guess. Personally, I like the challenge of making something my own, and HattyWatty's tools have given me the chance to do that with this game as well as other Frostbite titles. What this isn't, unlike my BF4 night maps, is a concept or a wishful demonstration for something that could be if we pushed the devs hard enough. This daytime environment will almost certainly never be seen as an official alternative, and there are some very good reasons for that. Essentially, this game is designed and optimised to run the nighttime settings. It suits the theme of the game, and all textures and lighting effects are tuned very specifically with that in mind. I've not converted to daylight because I think the retail game looks bad. In fact, exactly the opposite is true. I think the game looks absolutely gorgeous in its present form. The lighting and weather effects create a truly beautiful visual environment, most of which you can only appreciate if you slow down a little and just take a drive. I've loved screenshotting this game. I waited patiently for the PC version rather than get a console copy because I always knew this game would look great and I'd want to take pictures of it. But as with anything that has a set of Hatty's tools, there is always the temptation to do something different, and here we are. And actually, I think it looks okay. It's actually nice to be able to see with more clarity the wonderfully detailed cars in the game somewhere other than the garage. However, there are some significant downsides to running this as a playable mod in this state. The big one is the fact that once appropriate settings have been dialed in, you're more or less restricted to the area of the map that has that specific weather and lighting. As you may know already, there are a number of distinct zones in the Ventura Bay map that each have their own conditions, some dark and overcast with heavy rain, some twilight and clear skied. So if you move from one to another with your new day settings, they tend not to transfer very well onto the next zone, and sometimes break the map completely in that returning to the original zone doesn't quite function correctly either. Also, being a map that has some particularly dark areas, usually when you brighten them up with a little sun, you expose some fairly ugly textures and scenery. Someone commented on a Reddit thread that they considered this revelation as lazy on behalf of the developers, but that couldn't be more wrong. This game runs as well as it does and looks as good as it does because it's been well optimized in its playable state. This game was not designed to be seen in daylight, so this sort of texture tomfoolery shouldn't really be a surprise. So there you have it. I hope this has been of interest, if not entirely useful to anyone in particular. I think it'll make for some nice screenshots down the road anyway. Good noon!